Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and having a wonderful weekend. Well, it's Stack Pack Sunday, and that means we've got a new SBS drop. Today's drop is actually going to be an interesting one. It's something we haven't done before. It's actually going to be a drop featuring some vintage 10-ounce bars. Usually what you're used to is you're used to seeing some sort of like Fractional Friday drops, or on Stack Pack Sundays, usually what we do is we do kind of more something along the, smaller denomination, like one ounce usually, or sometimes 1 or 2 ounces of silver. And so this week we thought we would do something a little bit different. We would cater things towards the stackers that like to stack the 10-ounce bars and like to stack a little bit denser. And so while we do still have some limits on this week's drop, you will be free to kind of stack a little bit denser than you kind of normally do with our typical SBS drop. And in addition to the 10-ounce SBS drop that we've got for today, I've also got a new package. And so I'm excited to take a look into what is inside this box. And in fact, I'm actually going to grab one of the items that's inside this box and I'll add it to the prize pool for this week's SBS drop. And so these bars that you see in front of you are actually the bars that we're going to be sending out. Like, these are the exact bars that you'll be in the running to potentially grab 1 or up to 3 of. And so I'll get into the details about how the SBS drop works, but before we do that, we got to get into our package for today and take a look at all the goodies we've just recently picked up. And I also want to thank everybody who took part in our Fractional Friday drop. In fact, the Fractional Friday drop featuring these poured skull rounds is still live on the site, and so if you are interested and didn't have a chance or just completely missed it, that's still available there, and we're going to discontinue that probably at the end of the night. So before we send out all the packages for Monday, probably the Fractional Friday drop will be discontinued, and this 10-ounce bar drop is going to be up till it basically sells out, which may happen right away or may take a little while for it to sell out. So those are some opportunities on the website that I would like to direct your attention to. Those are probably the best value that you can get for your money currently on the site. Of course, there's always other specials being run, but I'll link those 2 drops in particular in the video description so that you can take a look at those. And so the first one is the Fractional Friday drop featuring the skull rounds, and then the second one, which we'll be discussing here after the unboxing, will be a 10-ounce bar drop. And so that's going to be an interesting one as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and crack open into this. Now in this package, I got some very, very interesting stuff. One thing I'll tell you about this package is that it is all Engelhards. So you know how I love my Engelhards. That was definitely the first kind of vintage sort of thing that I started stacking, and so I'm very, very partial to the Engelhards. I feel that that is kind of, in my view, the most reputable vintage brand out there, and I just feel like it will forever be that way. And so I'm just very excited to be able to pick up some more Engelhards. Straight off the bat, I can tell you we got another E-bar. Save this for last because I know what's in there. That's probably what I'm most excited about. And it looks over here that we've got a few more bars. So let's go ahead and take out the gloves because these are all pressed bars actually. And so take a look at this one right here. We got a 5-ounce bar. I always love me a nice chunky 5-ounce bar. And so this right here is exactly that. A nice 5-ounce chunker. And let's take a look at the reverse on this. The reverse is going to be your standard, Engelhard in an elongated octagon, which is kind of there's 3 full logos there on the back. And I think they're pretty much always like that if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool. A nice 5-ounce chunker. Never mad about adding a 5-ounce chunky Engelhard bar to the stack, and I'm also never mad about adding another E-logo bar, especially when I'm selling them. It's always nice to be able to re-up on some. So there's 3 of these that are up for grabs today, and heck, I might toss another one in there. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. Now take a look at this. This isn't just any poured Engelhard bar. This right here, folks, and I didn't even know this before I bought it. I just bought this as a nice poured Engelhard bar. I had no idea, but this is actually a nice waffle back. A beautiful waffle back. I absolutely love waffle backs, and I don't have very many of them, and so it's extremely exciting to me. I may not be expressing how excited I am, but I'm extremely excited about this. Like, I did not buy this as a waffle back. The premium I paid for this was a premium for a normal support Engelhard bar, and so I'm super excited that I was able to get a waffle back. That's amazing. Let's take a look at this one. Wow. Now this one is a machined one. This one is ultra shiny. Ultra shiny. It almost has no imperfections. I would go so far as to say this is the most beautiful machined bar that I have seen. It's definitely the nicest bar of this type that I have as far as Engelhards go. I don't have many of these. Got a couple of them. But I'm really excited about this pickup as well. It's a nice unique example right here. You can see actually a huge difference between these two bars. This up here is a poured one, this one up here down here is a machined, and this is extremely shiny. This machined one is extremely shiny there on the bottom. Very cool. I'm super excited about these pickups right here. Let's take a look here what this is. Now this, folks, is going to be a nice, similar bar to this. Check it out. But it's a 10-ounce bar. And so I've got a couple examples of this here as well. You got the Engelhard stamp there on the back. But now take a look here. If you look at these two varieties, you're looking at two different reverses. One of them has this frosted finish, almost like a pebbleback. I would call this, I'd go so far as to call this a pebbleback. And one has the elongated Engelhard logo there on the back. So that's pretty exciting right there. I'm super excited to pick up some more 10-ounce and also this 5-ounce bar. I'm actually going to be doing a nice Engelhard drop. Well, more than Engelhard. It's going to be Engelhard and Johnson Matthey in the prize pool. 10-ounce bars. And what I'm going to do, you know what? Let's throw one with the original factory seal in there. So we're going to throw a bar with the original factory seal, and then we got 3 normal E-logo bars. Then we've got 2 different varieties of these chunky 10-ounce Engelhard bars. Then we've got a nice Eagle 10-ounce bar, which I really love this bar because the back reverse stamp is extremely unique. It's got the Engelhard logo with the triangle and the A, and it's kind of got like a diagonal stamp. This is very unique. This is not a very rare bar, but it's the only bar, Engelhard bar, that has this type of a reverse. So that's why I like the Eagle bars a lot. So one lucky person who takes part in this week's SBS drop is going to end up with this Eagle bar. Okay, and so the way that this drop is going to work is there's going to be a prize pool of 9 bars. Okay, we've got 9 bars here. And basically what's going to happen, let me get these put away. There's more where that came from. There is more where that came from. Look at this. Oops. Okay. So, what I was saying was that this is going to be the prize pool. Okay? So we got the prize pool here. Let's get our bars put away. Okay. So here's our prize pool. We've got a prize pool of 9 bars, and the maximum amount of slots that you can take part in per household is 3. Okay, so you can't that's just to be fair to everybody. We want to give everybody a chance. Okay, so the maximum number of slots, meaning the maximum number of 10-ounce bars that any one individual, household, account, address, any of that can purchase is 3. Okay. And if you purchase 3, let's say, or even if you purchase 2, you'll be guaranteed to get 2 different bars, right? So you wouldn't get, like if you bought 3 slots, you wouldn't get 3 of these bars, right? You might get 1 of each type of JM bar, because take a look at this. These are 2 different JM bars. One has a blank back, and one has a JM Hammer logo. Interesting, right? So let's say you were to buy 3 bars on this drop. You don't know which of these bars you're going to get, but you're going to get 3 of these bars. So you may end up getting the one with the original wrapping. This original wrapping is broken, but it is what it is. It is the original seal, mint seal at least. So you get maybe you get this bar. You're not going to get this bar as well, because that will be 2 of the exact same bar type. If you get this bar and you bought 3 bars, you might get this one, and then you may end up with this one, or heck, you might end up with this JM one, right? And there's your 3 different bars. So it is not going to happen where you're going to get 3 of the same bars. So if you're trying to stack the same thing, sorry. This drop is for stacking variety, okay? And you're more than welcome to just buy 1 slot, and in that case, you'll get some random bar there from here, right? Let's say you buy 1 slot, well, then you may end up with just this bar right here, right? Or instead, you may end up with this bar right here. So you don't know what you're going to get. SBS is going to select that for you. And it's just basically going to be random. I'm just going to grab a bar and toss it in the package and package it up and give it to you. So what's the price of these bars? Well, I've been looking at the price that these bars go for, and I think $33 an ounce is pretty solid if you're getting a 10-ounce bar. Now, normally when we do our drops, we do 1-ounce bars, and so the premiums are a little bit higher. So generally speaking, people are used to paying, $35-40 for a bar on average, because they're collectible vintage bars, and so that's kind of the premium that those types of bars carry. Now, when you look at the 10-ounce bars, the premiums are slightly lower. You can sometimes capture those for $350, $330, sometimes $300. I've gotten bars for $30 an ounce in the recent times. So right now when I look at the market value for vintage bars, you're going to have to pay usually around $32 to $35 an ounce at a bare minimum for the most common kind of vintage bars, right? And so I thought, let's go ahead and give people a nice price for a nice bar shipped right to their house. Let's go ahead and do a $33 an ounce drop. So these bars, each slot is going to be $330 for a single 10-ounce bar. That'll guarantee you a 10-ounce vintage bar, either Engelhard or Johnson Matthey. You don't know which design you're going to get, and you're not allowed to purchase more than 3 bars or 3 slots, right? So let's say you purchase 3 slots, well then you're going to be guaranteed to get 3 bars from this prize pool, and they're not going to be 3 of the same bars. They'll be 3 unique bars, right? You can also purchase 2 if you'd like, but there's 9 in the prize pool, so it's a pretty limited drop. If people like the pricing, they may opt to go for all 3, or maybe it's not in people's budget and they'll just go for 1. Maybe even 1 is not in people's budget, and then they might limp into Fractional Friday, which is quite a bit more affordable. Right? So that's what this week's drop is. The link is actually in the description if you'd like to take part in this week's drop. And make sure you read all the description and all the information before you opt in, because our drops are kind of a little bit less traditional and it's kind of like a more unique way, a unique buying experience, right? Like when you go into the local coin shop and you get to go through their little junk bin, well, that's a unique buying experience, right? And you kind of get a thrill out of doing that because it's very cool. Sometimes you get some great value out of doing that. Well, I like to sort of mimic that sort of experience the best way I can with my SBS drops, because I like to incentivize people to, take a chance, go see what's offered there, and sometimes, hey, you might get lucky, right? So I'm trying to reinvent that sort of experience where because a lot of people don't have their LCS. A lot of LCSs are closing down. A lot of people never had an LCS to begin with, and so a lot of people exclusively buy their medals online. And so for them, they never get that experience. They never get that experience to kind of go searching through the junk bin and kind of gamify their purchases a little bit and kind of keep things fresh and unique, right? And so I always like to keep things fresh and unique, and I always like to gamify things a little bit with my drops, and so that's why we do these types of drops. I could very easily just put a random design listing on the site where you could just go buy the bars, and I do. I do. There are random design listings for 10-ounce JM bars, for 10-ounce Engelhard bars that you can go and buy now, but they'll cost more than $330 because that's the buy it now price. When we do these drops, we try to price them a little bit more competitively. And so if you're interested in 10-ounce bars, do your market research, and if it feels like a good deal, go ahead and opt into the drop. Okay. Stay live until it sells out. Now, I don't know if anybody has been eagerly waiting this little package here, but I never showed you what was in here, and so I'm super excited to show you what's in here, because this is by far what I was most excited about from that unboxing. Now, I know somebody here, Stack Attack Wager, he's got a lot of these. He went into his LCS one time, and he was probably searching through the junk bin, and boom, he found a nice stash of these. But these right here, folks, are only 1,000 minted bar, and I was fortunate enough to grab a couple of these. And when I say a couple, I mean more than a couple. I mean 3 of them. And so this right here, folks, is what we refer to as the Engelhard Colonial 1 ounce bar. Now, the Colonial bars are something that I'm a big collector of. I've already got a few of them. And so I'm really excited to be able to add a few more of these to the stack, because these are very difficult to find. You'll see them selling on eBay, reselling on eBay for quite a bit of money. The resale value for these is quite high, quite obscene actually. But you know, when I was able to pick up a nice lot, I felt, okay, if I'm grabbing these other bars, I might as well grab some of these as well. So I'm super excited to pick these up. Now, an interesting thing to note about the Colonial bars: there's only one type of counter stamp. So every single time that you flip over the Colonial bar, you flip it up like this, and you have the Colonial counter stamp right side up, just like that. So you got to flip it like that. There's a Royal Typewriting Company. It's an Engelhard bar produced for Royal Typewriting Company. That bar looks similar to this. It'll say Royal on the front, and if you turn it over, it has a Royal stamp on the back. But that Royal bar, which is, by the way, a 1500 minted bar, that has 2 different reverses. That one, where if you flip it, it's right side up, but there's also another version of that bar where if you flip it, it's upside down. The Royal stamp is upside down. So that's something that I found that is unique about the Royal Typewriting Company bar produced by Engelhard, where that's a 1500 minted bar. It's a higher mintage bar than the Colonial, but that has 2 unique reverses on the back. One is right side up, one is upside down. Whereas the Colonial, and I verified this with as many people as I can who own Colonial bars, and from any listings that I've ever seen, I've always tried to check to see if I can verify this. But as far as I can tell you, there are no Colonial bars where if you take this and you flip it up like that, then the Colonial logo would be upside down. The Royal bars there are, but the Colonial bars, no. So all the Colonial bars look exactly the same when it comes to the 1 ounce variety. So I just found that to be kind of a unique fact. Something that people who are really obsessive about collecting might find interesting, and something that a majority of you might be like, well, why the heck did you just waste an extra 2 minutes, 3 minutes talking about that when it's already a 20-minute video? Anyways, hope you enjoy the drop, folks. And just so you're aware, next week's drop is going to be a big one, and that's going to probably be the last one for a while, because we're going to be going into deep inventory mode. It's our very first year running this store, and so the tax man is right around the corner waiting for us to finish our inventory. So we're going to just take a breather for the month of February and slow things down. We're just basically going to be doing inventory, and we're going to be doing a lot of website changes. You'll see we've got a lot of new product coming in, and so we're going to be doing a big revamp on the website, And we're going to be introducing a lot of products that we don't currently have, such as like government minted bullion, and just trying to expand the product line a little bit and trying to get things that people regularly stack a little bit more, right? Rather than just solely focusing on collectibles. Collectibles is the focus, but we want to make sure that we have options for some of the other things that people are looking to stack. And so you can expect that in the month of March, we're going to have a nicely revamped website and a nicely revamped vision with a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you can get involved on this week's 10-ounce SPS drop. Cheers!